Hey BBs, it's Plastic and today I'm back with you guys for another video. How are we all doing today? Hope we're all doing really freaky fab in today's video. It's not just a regular Ghoul chat or whatever. Today we're having a birthday party retrospective type of video on the Monster High Generation 3 brand. I cannot believe this video is actually going to go up on October 2nd, so it's going to be like a day after. But actually, like, that's when I really found the dolls last year. Was October 2nd, was like when my Targets put them out. I cannot believe it's been a year already. Like, just before we get into this, how has it been a year? What do you mean it's been a year? That feels crazy. Monster High's first year, a Generation 3 of being around, has had so many doll releases. I've tried to fit in as many as I could into the backdrop of today and kind of do like a timeline, but there were so many of them that I don't even have all of them for number one. And the ones that I do have, there's just so many, they can't all even fit on my dresser kind of space. So it's crazy to see how much they've grown so far just in the, again, past year. I feel like there's also been, it's been an emotional roller coaster, to be honest, with this brand. But I'm honestly so super happy that I've been front row and I've been here throughout the whole year of it. It's been, again, a crazy time. And it feels so I'm so grateful that Monster Generation 3 is a thing, because I've grown up with Monster High. It literally shaped my life, and I feel like it shaped who I am as a person now. So them coming back after, a couple years of being in the grave, it's really cool that they're able to inspire a whole new generation. So yeah, with that, I guess, out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, so for this retrospective type of video, I had like three categories that I kind of want to delve into. We have dolls, media, and marketing. But knowing me and knowing that this is like a Ghoulchat type of video, it's going to be all over the place, to be honest, because again, there's been a year of Monster High Generation 3, so there's a lot of cover. There's been a lot of dolls, and obviously Monster High G1, like when they were popping out, like Mattel really loved making as many as they could. And the Generation 3 dolls, I think, kind of follow the same path of there's a lot coming out. It's not as crazy though as G1 though yet, because G1 was like pushing out like $100 plus, multiple movies, a whole bunch of stuff when they were kind of in their prime. And I think G3 is kind of leading into that, but honestly, that's not to be unexpected. I think a playline doll line like Monster High is going to push out a lot of product, because at the end of the day, these are more for the younger audience, not so much for the collector audience. Like, if they were marketing this towards me, this would definitely be not as many dolls coming out, because collectors can't keep up with every single release. It's kind of, again, hard to do that, especially, without waiting for sales. But again, since this is for the kids, I think that they're pushing out so much product so that there is a giant Monster High section in Target. Even the past couple years, it's been a year. The past weekend, I went to a bunch of Targets because I was looking for the Saran variants of some of the newer dolls that came out. So, like, as of, again, September 29th, there's, like, a whole thing with, like, Saran variants, and we'll get to that later on, in this section. But as I was going into these multiple Targets, every time I would be in the Monster High aisle, there'd be a couple kids really interested in the dolls, and they would probably kind of go in for like maybe like the Rainbow High dolls or the more like Barbie dolls. Like, I don't know, but I would always notice that the parents would point out, "Oh my God, that's the Yeti character. Oh my God, that's the werewolf, whatever." So that I think the general public, despite maybe not knowing about Monster High, I think they're seeing this giant shelf in Target, and there's a pretty big section for Monster High as of, again, from a year ago to now. It's a pretty big section carved out in a lot of Target stores that just has so many Monster High characters in it. It's so colorful, it's so expressive to see all these like funky characters, because you can just look up behind me and you can see the colors that really draw to you, or the pinks, the purples, the greens, the blues. Like, I think there's a lot of rainbow in these dolls, and a lot more than some of the other brands. They're just very vibrant dolls. So when you go in the aisle, like, I think they just resonate with kids a lot because they're very imaginative as well. Monster High dolls are not fashion dolls. These are playline dolls that are mainly, focused on selling you a character and selling you a story. That's kind of how it has always been, which I personally love. But with the dolls being super recognizable, I think, on shelves for, kids and parents and everyone in between, like, they definitely have a really prominent space in the market right now. They're very different from what you've seen with other characters and with other dolls. Like, this is a very fantasy themed line, but they stay true to what they are. They're just Monster High doll. They're monster characters in high school. And there's a couple. It's a doll line. There's a lot of dolls. But I want to talk about some of the core main dolls from the Generation 3 lineup that we've seen over the past year. I'm not going to talk about all of them, like the budget dolls or like the spa day. Like, not every single thing's going to get a little talking point, but I just want to give my opinions on some of the main things that we've seen. And obviously the most popular one that we have, and the first one that we have, it came out on October 1st last year. We have the core Monster High dolls to talk about. There's a lot of these dolls, and they're kind of the most like popular ones I think as of right now. They're still everywhere. We have like the first set. Like these core dolls came out in different sets. So like the first one is like Claudine, Draculaura, Laguna, Frankie, and Cleo. These dolls are not retail exclusives, and they are everywhere. These are able to be bought on like Amazon, Target, Walmart, wherever that team may be. And these are all really, really solid designs. I feel like I really love them. I think Claudine is kind of the weaker one, and Laguna is my personal favorite, but Draculaura is also super, super strong. Draculaura, I think, personally has the best quality in terms of the outfit, in the terms of, like, relevance to, like, current fashion. I think she's stellar. It's also really, really cool to see Frankie with the prosthetic leg. It was really, really nice. Cleo had a really, really cool, like, little, like, her, like, little, like, side part was kind of different. Like, okay, ma, like, eat it. And I liked her dress a lot. I think Claudine was also really, really cute in her own way. She's just not as fierce as she used to be, which took me a long time to get used to. And again, I love Laguna's sporty outfit, but those dolls were everywhere, and they were like a really good, affordable price of $25, which I kind of lived for because I was able to get a lot of duplicates. Some of the issues with these dolls was like Frankie had leg chipping all the time, and Laguna also had a really bad leg chipping. Claudine and Cleo also both used polypropylene, which is really annoying, but for the most part, I feel like they were really solid, besides those issues. And then also kind of like second wave of these dolls was like Toralei was a Walmart exclusive, so this doll was only able to be bought on Walmart, which was kind of annoying. It took me a long time to actually get Cleo, or to get Toralei, because she was Walmart exclusive, and my personal Walmarts never stock dolls on time, or even on the website. And I remember she was such an issue to buy. It was so hard to get her. And I think she's fine. Like, her outfit's kind of whatever. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. That's that. We also had Deuce, who was the Amazon exclusive, which is probably the least popular doll. I feel like I don't see him in as many people's collections, which makes sense because kids aren't shopping on Amazon, so I don't know. He's not my favorite either. I don't love his sweatpants with the jacket. He's probably my least favorite doll. But, yeah, not my favorite. And then we have Gouia, who is also kind of my least favorite. She's Target exclusive, and she's cool. She's different Gouia. It's a new Gouia. It's a new generation. It's a new whatever. She was definitely interesting. I feel like her skirt was kind of iffy, and I still don't love it. But besides the skirt, I think, and besides the skin being green, I really love this Gouia, I think. But that was like my core things. These dolls are still available, I'm pretty sure, everywhere. And they should not be going out of stock until like maybe next year, so get them as you can. So I think these are like the looks for the Monster High Generation 3 that you're gonna see all the time. So they're definitely great dolls to have. Maybe, I don't know if they're gonna switch the outfits, I don't know yet. But I love these dolls. They're staple. It's iconic. We also had kind of following them really, really shortly was Creepover. This was a line that kind of comprised of like Twyla, who was a new character for the line, and then Claudine, Draculaura, and Frankie were all returning characters. This was a really, really fun line. I think that they kind of hold up. They definitely fade into, like, an irrelevancy. Like, they're not, when I think of Monster High Generation 3, the first thing that comes to my brain. They kind of are overshadowed by a lot of other dolls from the G3 lineup, but they're definitely great staples to the earlier brand, and you can definitely see that they're trying to kind of find their fitting in with the market with Creepover again. It was one of the first kind of themed lines. Again, the first one we got was, like, core, and like Ghoul Spirit was kind of themed, but this was definitely very themed. It was definitely a dead tired ode to that. And I think it was a really, really fun set. There was like the bed that also came with it. I think they also had like the pets had beds. Like, it was a really, really fun line. I think Twyla was a great addition to the earlier Generation 3 lineup. It was kind of weird when you think back at it now, like the fact that Twyla came out before Abby and before Spectra. Like, that kind of throws me for, like, a loop a little bit sometimes. I'm like, that's kind of random. But it was really, really fun to see Twyla again. And I think the line is really, really fierce. It was really, really good. We also had Scul Secrets 1 that kind of followed. That leaked on October 4th, because I remember that very specifically, because it was my mom's birthday dinner, and we were out, and they leaked, and I was gagging. The only thing with Scul Secrets 1 is, and actually this kind of thing for the entire Monster High G3 lineup, we see the stock photos for these dolls way earlier than the dolls actually release, which is probably an issue of like leakers and less of maybe Mattel. And it's not an issue of the product, because like the pictures come out. But the pictures came out for this line on October 4th again. And the dolls didn't release until like springtime of 2023, which personally, my hype died for these dolls kind of obviously. Like, it was a really, really long time jump from when we first saw the dolls to when they were actually releasing. And then the actual release of these dolls were some of the messiest ones I think I personally can say for all of G3. I know that the Skoon Secrets is not like personally their fault because it got leaked, but like something about this line was just a train wreck. Like, it was exclusive to Walmart, but nobody knew that. They weren't really showing up on Target shelves. There was like a very specific moment when these dolls were released in Target or like released in Walmart, but they were only released in Walmart for like one shipment of them, like one batch of these dolls, and they never ever returned back to the Walmart shelves, as at least in my area. And they're kind of exclusive to Amazon now, but they're starting to sell out. Like, my Frankenstein, I finally completed Ultimate Secret Series 1 like last weekend. I bought my Frankenstein on like eBay, and I had to buy them from like a reseller. So it was very, very interesting to see how this line kind of just came and went. And I personally think Ultimate Secrets is one of the secrets. Ultimate Secrets Series 1 is probably my favorite Ultimate Secrets line personally. I know they kind of had their very interesting quality issues where like there's a lot of wonky Draculaura's. Frankie randomly had polypropylene hair. Laguna had her the fish thing, like, no, her ombre really shortened for some reason. But it was only for that doll she had it shortened, and the rest of the dolls just went back to the normal way. It was weird. And they also came with these big lockers. They came with second outfits. They came with a lot of accessories. I love this line. I think Draculaura is my favorite, like, just plain. But that's also one of the best G3 Lagunas as well as Ultimate Secrets one. It just had a really, really weird launch and rollout. We also got, I think, after that, I'm just trying to go off memory, was Core 2. I think, like, the refresh of Core, in my opinion. This is Abby and Claude's release, and this release was very, very interesting. I know Abby came out on, I got my Abby in, like, May time. I don't know when Claude came out, but I think he got, like, leaked in, like, January, probably, like, they both did. And this was a really interesting line. I think this line in specific kind of deteriorated me from Generation 3 for a while, just because I was so excited for Abby. Abby is one of the best G3 design dolls, in my personal opinion. I loved this doll's design, and I still love this doll's design. But the issue that I personally had with this Abby was that her hair was polypropylene, which is one of my biggest issues with Generation 3. There's been so many dolls that have come out with polypropylene that have just completely ruined the vibe for me. And her hair was just very, very thick and very, very coarse. And for a while, I just couldn't get back into Generation 3 because of it. But besides that, Core 2 was a really, really solid line. They're both $25 or whatever, and they are available now in Targets in Amazon. But for a while, these dolls were so hard to get. Like, I remember, like, you had to, like, refresh the Amazon page, and, like, it was a thing to find these dolls. Maybe that's just how I'm remembering, or they would go up in stock for, like, an hour, and then, like, they would, like, sell out, and, like, people would, like, resell them for, like, extreme prices. So a lot of people had issues finding these dolls, but thankfully, again, they are on Target shelves as of right now. So initial rollout of these dolls was super messy and kind of just confusing. That was that. Again, looking back at it, fine, they're whatever. Just really upset about Abby's hair type. We also had Ultimate Secrets 2 was kind of like their summer launch of Ultimate Secrets. It's kind of, you know, a reoccurring thing now. I think Monster High Generation 3 is kind of now known for Ultimate Secrets. It's a big line. It's big with the kids, apparently. But again, it's the locker format with 2 outfits in the doll. Ultimate Secrets 2 is winter themed, and they kind of all have an iridescent-y kind of moment. And I want to say all these designs are spectacular. My personal issue with this line is that they all have polypropylene hair, which is, again, a coarser material that disintegrates, and it's just not fun to play with or style. And as a collector, I'm not playing with my dolls, really. I'm just kind of, like, putting them on, like, brushing their hair, putting them on the shelf, and, like, taking them down when I, like, want to, like, hang out with them and, like, just, like, brush their hair or whatever. These dolls kind of, like, ruin that, again, with the hair type. But I think these dolls are everywhere right now, except I know Cleo's a Target exclusive, but they are some of the, again, best designed dolls, in my opinion, for G3. They just have a really bad execution process because of Ultimate Secrets. They have to, like, budget in that locker, so they have to budget things differently. I don't know. But, really fierce line. It kind of happened in summertime. And then the line that kind of came along with that, like, I think they came out at the same time, was Monster Ball. This is one of my favorite Monster High G3 lines ever. I love Monster Ball so much. It's kind of an ode to Dawn of the Dance. and it's just really, really fun. We never really see Monster High Generation 3 do these really campy themes anymore. They're more kind of just like casual outfits, like going to the coffee store, going to study, you know, hanging out in the winter with like the shawls and, you know, whatever. I love Monster Ball for the idea that they're just going to the dance. They're going to the dance the fright away. They're going to hang out, and they're all dressed up in these glamorous outfits. Claudine is wearing a gorgeous tux. She has Saran hair. Laguna is wearing this really crazy 80s outfit. Draculaura looks stunning with her like little bow. And Cleo's really, really cool as well. I love this line so beyond much. And I want to say around after the Monster Ball kind of line came out, we got Collector Gouia, or Collector, oh my god, Collector Laguna from Entertainment Earth. And I know this doll isn't like the doll like I should be talking about, but I think she was definitely a significant mark in the Monster High G3 lineup, like just in the terms of its like timeline and everything. And I have to talk about her because she's the first Monster High G3 doll to come with a stand. She is the first premium G3 doll, and that's crazy to me, to be honest, that we're getting a G3 collector doll at all. And if she's the first collector doll, I'm hoping there's a series of these dolls. That's kind of my hope and expectation, fingers crossed. I would love a Frankie Stein collector G3 doll. I'd love a Draculaura and Claudine and all of them. Abby would be super fierce. But she was $40 and she is stunning. This doll is so much prettier in person. She was Entertainment Earth exclusive, so she wasn't as available, and I think she might have been numbered, but I don't remember. Stunning doll. Definitely a turning point, I think, for the Generation 3 timeline. It was crazy. It shook the world up, and I am still shook about it. I love that Laguna so beyond much. Probably another one of my favorite G3 dolls. But again, it's crazy because Generation 3 is maybe more marketed towards the kids, and it's more centered around, you know, the shows and everything. So it was very, very interesting to kind of see their kind of recognize the collectors, and that there are people who are collecting dolls. Because I feel like for the longest time, G3, before this doll came out, was really just heavily towards the kids. Again, it's more colorful, it's more exciting. So it feels very, very interesting that they came out with a collector doll. I don't know. I enjoy it personally as a collector, but it's very, very interesting to see them, that they like recognize that there are collectors again. And we have more lines coming out, but I just want to really quickly also include the Sam's Club Monster High Draculaura and Claudine 2-pack, because I know it's kind of a random, weird, like discarded pack that like no one really cares about. But this pack also, I think, has a significant point in the Monster High Generation 3 timeline, as this was the line that kind of showed us that Claudine can have Saran hair. Again, for the previous year of Monster High Generation 3, there's only ever been one Saran Claudine before this doll, and that was Monster Ball Claudine, who had a completely different hair color and hair blend. This was the first time that we saw Monster High go back and fix the issue of a cheaper hair fiber, and they gave this random Sam's Club exclusive Claudine a premium, nice, shiny, smooth Saran hair fiber, which truly shook the world. I remember when I opened this doll on my bed, I was gagging, screaming, losing my mind that we had a Claudine with this Saran blend. And we always got the excuse, I think, from before this doll came out, that the Saran could only ever be used with certain colors and everything, which is true to some extent. But the fact that they went back and, you know, back into their machines in the factories, whatever they do, and they figured out how to perfectly match this blend to the Saran hair fiber, and they showed that they listened to the fans, made me feel like I was proud to be a G3 collector. That was kind of the turning point, at least in my collection, where I felt like I could get back onto the Generation 3 bus, because for a while, since Abby, like her core doll, from, like, I want to say maybe like Collector Gouia, but like really, really, really got me back into it was Sam's Club Claudine, was that they showed that they listen to their fans, they care about our opinions, and they care about our needs and our wants. And it just made me feel like I want to be a fan of them again. I want to be on their side. And I know that's really, really corny and whatever. And it's just like a hair fiber, and it's not that deep or whatever. And I've since Sam's Club Claudine, I've kind of gotten over the fact of polypropylene, and I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. I'd rather enjoy what they're putting out instead of just hating on it because it is a cheaper hair fiber. But again, this pack really, really, really changed my view of what Generation 3 could be. And then the last line that we kind of have right now is Scared Ice, which is a really, really cool line. It's like budget dolls. They all have Saran hair, and there's another edition of Heath, who's a new returning character from G1. Super, super cool to see Heath again, and I have Claudine, and she's amazing. I love this line so much, and I can't wait to get the rest of these dolls, and they are, again, like budgety dolls, so like they're like $17. Fierce. And also, kind of a touch point back on the Sam's Club Claudine situation, we've been seeing a lot of, as of recently, a lot of Saran variants for the old existing Monster High dolls that came with polypropylene coming into the new markets with the new batches with Saran hair. An example is obviously Monster Ball Cleo. We've seen Scul Claudine also have a Saran variant. So it, again, makes me really, really proud to be a Monster High fan that they're continuing to fix the issues that we had. And I just wanted to praise them about that because that was really, really, really cool. So many dolls again for the past year, and it's so crazy to kind of see how much they've grown, and they really, really listen to us. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it feels really, really cool. And like looking back behind me, like I'm just gonna shimmy on my little chair, seeing the amount of dolls that they've come out with in the past year is truly so cool. I feel like I have an instant collection just within a really, really short time period. And it's really, really nice. Again, as a Monster High fan, I love having a lot of dolls, and I love seeing my old favorite characters come back into this new form. It's really, really fun. It's really, really special, and I really, really praise Mattel for really giving us their all with this amount of dolls. Like, I never would have expected Generation 3 to have this many dolls, and the fact that it's, again, their first year is really exciting to me. I think we'd also have a lot to look forward to, kind of going into the media of Monster High Generation 3. We have that Nickelodeon animated TV show, which is so fun. If you guys are watching now, actually on October 2nd, there's new episodes coming out today on Nickelodeon, so y'all gotta watch it. If you guys do not watch the Monster High episodes, you're missing out on a whole bunch of fun. The lore in that show is really, really fun. It's obviously, again, more towards the kids, so there are a couple like cornier jokes that I like whatever about. But it's a really, really solid show, and it's on season 1 currently, but there is a confirmation for season 2 to be eventually produced and aired and everything. So continue to watch season 1 and support it legally through Nickelodeon, through Paramount Plus, through iTunes, wherever you can find and stream the series legally. It'll help out us to get a third season, so make sure you guys are tuning in and get seated for it, because I'm really, really excited. And again, the past year of Generation 3 episodes have been very, very wishy-washy. I know they kind of premiered last October for obviously the release of Generation 3, but there's been so many long hiatuses that makes it really hard for me to continue to stay engaged with the franchise. It's super confusing because they never really give us a certain date when it would just go on like random hiatus, and like then it would just not come on for months and months on end. I think currently the last episode that we got was the Clanky episode, or maybe that's not right. It was an episode after Clanky, I think, and it's been since springtime. It's been the entire summer without Monster High episodes, which personally scares me, as again, this is marketed towards the kids. It's not really meant to have collectors in mind, and collectors kind of have a more active brain in the terms of we're able to kind of still stay focused with the brand despite it not being on air. We're able to still realize that it's a thing going on, and I feel like, I don't know if kids forgotten about Monster High. I'm not sure if that's a thing, because again, when I go to the Target aisles, they're still really, really happy and excited to buy the dolls, but what scares me is for the longevity of the brand is with these long hiatuses and like they're not really doing many reruns of the show. It scares me for the idea that we're not going to have a show to go on for a long time. I'm not really sure the view number count. I don't think that's public information or anything. But I really, really hope the show is doing well, and I hope that these hiatuses can kind of cease and we can just get a more clear scheduling issue. The show is like really, really, really good. Like, I love the show. It's so fun to see the characters being brought to life from the doll form, and honestly the show is kind of how the dolls sell, in my personal opinion. Like, that's how Monster High has always been. You need the show, you need the lore, you need to kind of have the characters to sell these dolls. So I hope that the show, if it stops airing on Nickelodeon or they stop producing it on Nickelodeon for whatever reason, they can kind of continue it some other way. But I love the Nickelodeon show so beyond much. It's such a good show. To go along with the show, like the TV animated show, we also have some live action movies, which is really cool and like crazy to think about. Like, Monster High has like a live action series. So we have the first movie that came out last year, which is so good, and now we have the Monster High live action 2, which is coming out this October 5th on this Thursday. And I'm excited. I'm seated. I'm sad. I never thought we'd get a live action 2, to be honest, just because it's such a crazy idea, again, to have like Monster High live action. So the fact that we got a second movie in the time of like a year is crazy to me. Like, they filmed and did everything in a year for this movie. And I don't know when they started filming or whatever that he may be, but I'm excited about it. It comes out again so soon, so you guys better make sure to support it, watch it, and maybe I'll do like a recap video of that movie if I feel like it. And if I'm really, really excited about it, but I'm so beyond excited for all the promotional things we've seen so far. It looks really, really engaging. It looks really, really fun. They go to the Boo York City, is that what it's called? Maybe, I don't know. I know it's called Boo York in G1, but I don't know if that's what it's called in G3 or whatever. But I'm really excited about it. The soundtrack from the last musical was phenomenal. I love that soundtrack so much. Coming Out of the Dark is my favorite Monster High song. One of them, at least, it's top tier. So it's really, really fun. But along with some other media stuff that we also have like this 2D animation on the cartoon, the YouTube. And it's like this mystery thing. I don't think we've seen an episode on that in a while. And we also have the iconic music videos. So every character so far, besides Torlai, Gouia, Deuce, have all gotten music videos, and they're all this kind of animation thing. It's really, really cool. It's really, really fun. And I love the music videos. The music themselves is such a little fun little bop, and it really gets you, again, engaged in the characters. It tells you a lot about them. It tells you a lot about their story, and it's really, really fun and colorful to watch. But we also have music videos that kind of tell the stories about the lines. I think we had a Fear 2 stop motion music video, which was kind of telling them about they're getting ready for a winter thing. I don't know. And I hope we get one for the Monster Ball. Maybe we get a Monster Ball music video. Who knows? I don't think we will, but it's cool to see those Ultimate Secrets ones. Another piece of media though that I need to talk about really quickly and touch upon, that I almost forgot actually, was the Monster High live action, the live studio, in front of your face, the live Broadway musical, not the movie or anything, the actual live music show. This was a thing that got kind of canceled, because I think of low sales. That's what I think they told us, but it was really upsetting because we saw all these really cool characters, and it was it's gonna be this live action thing. The kids were gonna jump in and bump in. It was supposed to have this story of the Monster Ball apparently. And it was supposed to be a tour across America. I don't remember, honestly. One of the issues though I think I had with this was that they didn't promote this at all. The promotion for this was horrible. They didn't really post it on their Instagram. One thing that Monster High G3 has been super embarrassed about has been of posting their Monster High Generation 3 stuff on their Instagram, which is crazy to me. I think they got bullied heavily back when they first came out, so they've been kind of scared. That's what I've been taking it as. They've been scared to post anything new Generation 3 related on their social medias because they're scared of backlash. My solution, turn off those comments, ma. But they made this whole separate Instagram account for the live action movie, or the whole live action premiere thing. And I guess with that, they kind of lost a lot of sales. This was not marketed at all. In my personal opinion, as a genius of everything, I would have said they should have made a live action commercial to play with the TV show if the TV show is premiering in summertime. I also think that if they premiered the show in summertime, it would have made a lot of sense because that's when kids are really bumming it around and doing nothing. Because school's in the fall time, so why would you premiere the show when people are busy? Do it when the kids are bored in the summertime. So that's kind of why I was confused about the hiatus. And I also think that they do not understand. You need to use that social media that has a million followers on their original account to promote anything Generation 3, because there's going to be backlash of anything. I'm a Generation 3 fan. I've been through this for a year with y'all, and I have critiques. I have things I love about it. Everybody's going to always have an opinion. It's hard. Just promote the heck out of Generation 3 on that main Instagram account, ma. And do it for the kids. Do it for the collectors. Do it for everybody. Promote these dolls. I want to see them continue. As a collector, I love them. And the people who are saying that they don't like Generation 3, they have not touched a Monster High doll in years. They don't care about the Monster High brand. They're just hating on it because they feel like they are entitled to, and they're not entitled to anything Monster High. If they don't collect the dolls, they haven't played with the dolls, they are not entitled to it. So I just want to edit that in because I almost forgot about that as I was editing. And I'm like, I should probably include this. So, yeah. Live action was supposed to be a thing and it got canceled, so... But, I feel really bad, though, because all the actors worked super hard on that, and you could tell the passion through that thing, and it just is so sad that it got discontinued or canceled. So, love is going on to all the actors, crew, and directors who were sadly canceled during the lack of promotion. That's my take. I do obviously have a couple things that I would love to change about Generation 3, which I think they need to be more focused and more consistent with this TV show. I know that's more of a Nickelodeon thing and less of a Mattel thing, but I would really, really, really want to see an engaged fan base for the kids. I think, again, kids do not have the access to like the Twitter and the social media like collectors do, so it's harder for them to kind of stay updated on when these new Monster High episodes are coming out besides Nickelodeon TV ads. I think my personal solution for this would be is I'm teaming up with Hulu, Paramount Plus, or Netflix, or some streaming service, or even a YouTube whatever, so we can get these episodes more clearly on things. I feel like I don't have Paramount Plus. I'm probably gonna get it though when I have to watch the movie because I think I have work when the movie comes out, so I'm not gonna be able to watch it. But I'm gonna have to rewatch it somehow, so I have to probably get Paramount. But I don't know if the episodes are going directly from Nickelodeon, like when they air to Nickelodeon, to any streaming service, and I feel like TV overall has changed so much. Like I don't even think that like cable is what people have anymore. I feel like nobody has cable anymore. People have streaming services, people have YouTube, people have everything but cable. So I would really, really love to see if Nickelodeon maybe like can like partner up with some other thing. Like if they could put all their stuff on like Netflix and like it could be easier accessible because like I just have again the collectors even have hard times trying to watch the show legally. Like and I don't even know if kids, have that long attention spans to really remember everything. So I would just love to see that kind of be produced, or even like the Nickelodeon, you know, website. Like they can do like the ads with every episode, so like the episodes are free to watch. So like they can be more engaged in the series and they can kind of continue to come back to the show because no one's gonna want to come back to the show if they have no idea when it's airing and it's just kind of like wishy-washy. So that's one of my issues that I have. And I think another issue maybe more for the Generation 3, like the dolls themselves, I wish that they had just a more consistent quality, and I think we're kind of seeing that right now. I feel like they've definitely been switching from that polypropylene hair to a nicer Saran hair, which I'm super thankful for. And that's kind of my only issue, I think, with the dolls is just the hair fibers. There's obviously been issues of like the leg chipping is still kind of affecting like Laguna, like my collector Laguna has leg chipping, but hopefully they can somehow make that a better thing in the future. That's just kind of my issues with the brand. Still a year later, it's just like the show is very wishy-washy and the dolls have kind of iffy quality, but again, they're making that better. I think some of the best things about this Monster High J3 is how loyal the fan base is, because despite the cheap hair, the weird schedules, the lack of doll availability, the fans are always going to come back to this brand. It's been a brand that I don't think I'll ever be able to let go of Monster High. It's just such an important part of my collecting experience and who I am, I feel like, as a person, which might be a little bit crazy and might be dramatic, but I truly just love Monster High, so I don't think I can ever see myself hating Monster High unless they go super, super, super cheap with pixelation and gross hair and stiff arms and bad stuff. I don't think I could see myself, not collecting J3. They have a really, really important and creative way of getting their dolls out to really, really intrigue the audience. There's no other doll line that I can confidently say is like Monster High G3 on the doll market at all. A lot of the dolls right now are very fashion focused, which I love, but there's no character based doll lines out. Barbie doesn't do it. Monster High does it. Bratz kind of does it, but Bratz isn't like, that's more like for like the adults, I feel like right now. LOL doesn't do character focused dolls. Rainbow High barely does character focused dolls. Monster High is really the only brand I can see personally right now doing these heavily character focused dolls. Such creative concepts as well, even though G3 has kind of had like weird, like, I mean, they're not as conceptual, I feel like, as G1 with like the themes and everything, but each doll is very, very themed to their character. Like Claudine is always going to have those moons and those scratches, and you can tell that she's a werewolf. Frankie is going to have bolts and stitches and lightning bolts. They are Frankenstein. It's so cool to kind of see how they're able to really play on these characters still. So I think that's just one of the strengths, is they will always be very, very fun and different from anything else that's on the market. And you can throw out as many copies of Monster High, but I feel like Monster High is always going to be Monster High. That's just kind of my thing. And then I want to see some things in the future, though, obviously, besides just the hiatuses and the things. I want to see a nicer, smoother availability for all dolls. And I want to get leaks locked away, to be honest, because personally, it's fun to see the dolls, soon and everything. But it really just kills the vibe if I see a doll stock photo 7 months in advance and the doll just doesn't come out for that. And then when the doll does come out, it's random times on Amazon, and like one batch in Walmart. Like I think we need to fix that kind of going into the next year. And I don't know who is the issue for that, but I'm gonna speak to your manager and we're gonna get it fixed. But that's just one of my critiques that I would love to kind of get focused. And again, I just want to see the seasons kind of again have a stronger, you know, schedule. And I also want to see more characters. I love characters, and as much as I love the G1 characters, I also want to see more new characters for G3. They've been really focusing on giving us the old characters, which again I love as a longtime collector. It's so cool and so special to see these old characters come back. But I want to see what they can offer us. I feel like there's a lot that Generation 3 has to offer us, and I feel like we're just getting into what they can offer us. So I'm just really excited for Generation 3 for the next year. It's crazy to, again, look back and be like, wow, we've had a year of these dolls, a year of these stories, a year of this community. It's so cool. And Monster High has, again, always meant the world to me, so it's really fun to see them back and better than ever. I think they have truly made so many improvements on the base dolls. Really get into representation in this video too much, but it's so cool to see all the queer representation, like Clanky being kind of official right now, Frankie using they them pronouns, being non-binary, super like important to me. There's just so much that we have with Monster High, and they have such a good foundation right now, and I want to see them build upon that foundation in the next year. But overall, what I could say is just thank you for giving us this G3. Thank you for giving us the show. Thank you for giving us the movies. I just want to see it more, and I'm really excited about the brand. I'm just in a really positive state of mind right now, where I just feel like there's so much improvement that we're seeing, and I could see like the passion behind the designers and behind the brand, and I'm just excited to see where it goes. So I don't want to, you know, repeat myself too much, but I just want to say a final thank you and a happy birthday to Monster High Generation 3. You're loved very heavily. And yeah, but in the comments below, please let me know all your thoughts and feelings about Generation 3 turning 1 year old. How do you guys feel about it? Are you guys excited? Are you guys like, wow, it's been a year? Or are you guys like, oh, it's been a long year? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And what is your favorite Monster High Generation 3 doll? I think if I have to name it off the top of my head, I'd probably say Scul Secrets Series 1 Laguna. Is that bad to say she's my favorite? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, again, thank you guys, though, so much for watching and celebrating with me today. It was so much fun with you guys, and I can't wait to catch you, though, in the next one. I love you all endlessly, and I'll see you very soon. Love ya. Bye. Bye, everybody.